I want you guys to be prepared for possibly some of the biggest reversals that we've seen in a very, very long time in the Forex, indices, commodities, and bond market. And I'm going to walk you through this so that hopefully you can prepare yourself for some massive reversals. I'm talking about reversals on things like the Great British Pound, the bond market, the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar, the gold market. It's coming. It's just a question of when and why are these reversals going to be so big? Well, I'll give you guys my opinion on this. If you stick around, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more regular content like this. Let's jump in. Okay, so first of all, what am I talking about? What is the big ginormous reversal, big scary thing that I'm discussing? Well, it's this story with the high levels of inflation that we have faced globally for the last year or so. Now, this video is going to be a little bit more on the fundamental side, but bear with me and I'll show you how we can possibly be ready for this both on the fundamental and technical side of trading so that we could possibly position ourselves to make some good money on the reversal that I think is coming. Okay, so first of all, what we need to talk about is this. We're looking at inflation, and globally, inflation has been on the rise, right? With the 2020 situation, we saw a massive increase in inflation across the world. And believe it or not, if you're in the United States, we actually are better off than many other places. Inflation in the US is lower, believe it or not, than places like Europe and the UK, which are experiencing, inflation with price rises, but also the gas has been pressed in terms of the Russia and Ukraine situation, which has caused or launched the European world into a crisis with energy. So putting more pressure on prices. So that's sort of a situation that we're experiencing. And when you take a look at that high level of inflation, we take a look at, like, for example, the euro, we can see just why the euro has been so absolutely devastated. Trading prior to current levels, at one point we were up in the 1.23s, right? 1.23 as early back as January of 2021. We have lost a tremendous amount of value on the euro relative to the dollar. 20% difference. That's incredible, right? But it doesn't stop there. We can take a look at the pound. We could see the pound has lost a tremendous amount of value with the energy crisis and inflation levels over there as well. And don't even get me started on possibly some of the most ugly, stuff that we've seen in a long time. In fact, I believe like 30-year crazy volatility on the bond market, which is not something we discuss very often on the channel, but bonds have, you can see bonds, right? The US 20-year has lost a tremendous amount of value, and something what is considered or usually considered a very, very safe asset. Here's the bond yield, which has risen dramatically alongside the US dollar, which again, the dollar, a massive, massive up phase here in the last few years. It's been incredible to watch, and why I want to discuss this is because at some point, there will be, in my opinion, a massive reversal on these trends. And what is going to trigger that, and how can you and I be better prepared for that scenario? One more market I want to discuss is the gold market, which has been, in light of recession fears and so many other problems, the gold market has tanked, right? Why is gold not up at 2,000 or 2,500 at this point with all this terrible recession fear? Usually that's what we would see, right? Well, the reason is because the dollar has become so strong that, we're measuring these two relative to one another. We're talking about gold versus the US dollar. And we have to ask ourselves, well, the dollar being so red hot right now, why is that? Well, the basic idea is that the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates, which we could take a look at that. If we go to interest rates in the Edge Finder, we could see interest rates being, again and again rising in the U.S. at a strong pace, which is bringing a lot of bullishness into the dollar as it's acting as that safe haven asset, which is putting pressure on the gold market. So again, I think that a lot of these things have major reversals coming, and I'm going to tell you how I'm approaching this going into the future.
Are you brand new to trading? Do you have a strategy that's not going so well and maybe you think you need some help, or maybe you just don't even know where to start? Well, lucky for you, A1 Trading has a trading help desk. All you have to do is fill out this form. At the bottom of the form is a list of things that you might need some help with. After you select that, we'll send you an email with a playlist of free videos from our YouTube channels, some tips on where you might want to begin, and even examples from our in-house traders and what they do in these situations. We'll even give you a peek at some trading tools that we provide that could help. Use the link in the description, the A1 Trading Help Desk. Click that link and get started now.
Am I buying gold and selling dollars and buying euros and buying pounds? No. And here's why. We don't know how long this trend can go on. This dollar idea that we've been discussing for probably the better half of 2 years now on my channel, being bullish on the dollar, it is not something I'm trying to time the reversal on. Though there are some indicators that I'll give you that I think could help us find the reversal point. A couple things that I'll mark. We need this dollar to come down for several other assets to have a reversal. I'm talking the euro, the pound, the bond market, the stock market. Several other things are watching this dollar strength and waiting for an opportunity to reverse. Now, you could make an argument we could look for technical patterns, and maybe that will be our first indicator of a reversal. We need to see major breakouts, okay? So major breakouts to the other side. Right? We need to see this thing start breaking through structure to the downside and clearing these moving averages off the daily chart. That's a technical indicator that we could probably all quickly analyze. We need to see this thing fall apart in terms of an uptrend on the daily chart. That's step number one. But step number two is to go along with that. What we need to see is we need to see inflation start to curb. Okay? Why? Well, the Fed is what's causing this dollar to be so strong. The Fed is basically, we need to see inflation come down, right? This is what the Fed wants to see. Before the Fed can stop raising interest rates and cool the jets on hiking interest rates, right? Inflation needs to cool. And there are some early signals that could be coming. But again, we've seen the Fed be wrong about this over and over again. We need to wait and see inflation actually start to cool, in my opinion, before you start trying to short the dollar or go against this major uptrend that we're seeing. That is a major, major indicator that we need to actually see. Then we need to actually hear it from the Fed. We need the Fed to sort of say, we believe we've sort of achieved our goals. We need to hear that Fed tone, the hawkish tone that we've had. We need to hear that turn dovish. We need to hear that turn cool off a little bit prior to trying to call the top to the dollar. Now, once you get this alignment where you get inflation cooling, the Fed becoming a little bit more dovish, and some breakouts on the technical charts, that is where I think you start looking for opportunities to go short the dollar, to go short, go long things like bonds and the stock market and, so many other things, right? The problem is, until this stuff cracks, trying to fight this move has been one of the most painful things for traders in the last few years. And again, we're talking about several markets that are riding off this. You get those three indicators, you might have a pathway for the stock market to really rebound, and you might be getting an opportunity to buy stocks at a discount. But until that happens, who knows how much further this thing can go down. Now, if you're long-term investing like myself, I'll be buying stocks no matter what for the next several years. But I think that in terms of trying to find a bottom for the stock market, it's going to rely on those things that we just discussed, right? We need to see breakouts to the upside for the stock market. If you're paying attention to US 30 or NAS 100, we need to see inflation cool, and we need to see that Fed back off their super hawkish tone. Now, again, we turn to things like the euro. Why does this matter for the euro? Well, a cooling dollar might give some relief to the euro. We might see the euro actually start to rise. And don't even get me started on possibly one of the most beaten down assets in the Forex world, the dollar-yen cross. The yen is just in absolute free fall against the dollar. The dollar's been so strong. Well, we need all those same indicators to crack for this yen to get some relief, right? So these are the things I think you need to look for. But let me ask you one more thing. Are you really going to try and time this? In my opinion, that's a fool's game, and it's really hard to do. I've been long the dollar. I've been buying the dollar on pullbacks, and I will continue to do that. Now, again, I've got a trade that's in position right now on the dollar Swiss. I've been buying this thing. You can see all my orders that I've been taking. I've been super bullish on the dollar, and I won't stop being bullish until all of those indicators flip. I hope that makes sense. That's a little clarity on my dollar idea and where I'm looking at this stuff going into the future. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you back next time. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I've put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.